Hey guys, what is up? It's Amy. Welcome back to my channel. I do video essays on the intersection between climate change and social justice, but occasionally I talk about Paris, and I'm trying to get all of these videos I filmed in Paris actually uploaded. And today I'm going to be uploading my room tour, I guess like part 2, because this is my room literally like a week before I left, so this is it after I decorated it, and it was kind of like my own. So I really hope you guys enjoy seeing how I transformed the apartment. I'm going to link my original room tour where you can see what it looks like before I did anything to it. But today I'm also going to be, after I kind of showed you guys the apartment, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips for finding housing in Paris because it is very difficult. I cried like multiple times looking for an apartment, and I want to make life easier for you guys, for anyone moving to Paris. So yeah, first I'm going to show you guys my room, and then I'm going to share with you guys some tips for finding housing in Paris. Before I show you the apartment, actually, another caveat, I just want to share a little bit stats about the apartment itself that I found. So I found the apartment through PAP. It was about 550 euros a month, it was 550 euros a month, which is about $650, which is a lot because it was only like 9 meters squared, which is the legal minimum for an apartment in Paris. It had a shared toilet, but I did have my own shower and bathroom sink, as well as a little kitchen area, a bed, and a desk, which I actually bought the best desk myself because it didn't come with an actual desk, which if you see the original room you can see what it looked like. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit about the room. The area I was in was the 16th arrondisment of Paris, which is a really nice area. It's also really expensive. Like the food and shopping and stuff in the area is really expensive, and it's also pretty far away from like downtown and all like the fun, young, hippie part of Paris. So I don't recommend living in the 16th if you enjoy nightlife and stuff like that. But it was really nice for just like my first time in Paris because it's very safe. Like I felt very safe in it. In the 16th, even being outside, like not like in the middle of the night by myself, even though I was outside at night by myself a couple times and I didn't feel super safe because I'm a scaredy cat, but like if I was going to the grocery store at like 7 and it was sundown, I never felt weird about it at all. So that's something that's really great. And also I think that's about it. It took me about 3 weeks to find it, but that's a little bit about the apartment, and let me show you what it actually looked like. Okay, so first I just want to show you guys the hallway with the little mirror at the end, and then on the other side we have the 2 bathrooms. This apartment did have a shared bathroom, but it really wasn't that bad. Now for the actual apartment, I had this little entrance area where I would put my shoes on the ground, and on the other side I had some extra storage for more shoes. Then up here I just had a little coat area where I put the most used coats and jackets that I wore a lot. A mirror on the door, and then on the other side of this entrance I had like my backpack, my little tote bag, as well as like my wallet, purse, keys, masks, stuff like that I use all the time. And then my little bathroom, I had these little lights hung up by the mirror, this little shelf with my most used products, and then the sink, and this basically just all came with the apartment. And then I had my shower, just very basic, did not decorate the bathroom that much. Now for some more storage, this little area had the phone to call people in, and then you have my closet, which had a mirror on the outside. Now on the inside, usually super messy. I definitely folded these up just for the video, but I had way too many clothes, like it's actually insane. Then on the other side I had even more closet area. This little section is my laundry, some linen, some random stuff, and then down here I had things hung up like my coats, dresses, cardigans, stuff like that. And then I had a little stool there for when people came over. Now for the rest of the apartment, this is where I did the most decorating, and I'm actually so proud of how it turned out. I think it's so cute. Basically the way I decorated was basically pictures, plants, and knickknacks, and just kind of an overview. In this corner I had my pride flag, a little collage that I made with pictures I liked, my pothos plant, which is probably my favorite plant ever. This girl does not die, my yoga mat, a bunch of random stuff, and then my bed, which everyone says was comfortable, but I actually thought my bed was uncomfy. So for this wall, I had a lot of pictures, some drawings. The bigger posters I got from a flea market. That one I got from the Sacré-Cœur, but a lot of it was from flea markets. And then I have my little astrology hangings I got in college, some fairy lights, and then the rest of the room is basically the same kind of aesthetic with like a lot of plants, a lot of like random knickknacks, like my little alarm clock, a lamp, skincare. I just basically made it very clunky, but I think together it ended up coming together well. Some books stacked up. I read like one of these. But I think overall it ended up coming together very well, and that's an overview of the little shelf area. And the next section is my desk area, which I did actually buy the desk and the chair because it did not come with the apartment, but I thought it was worth it. This collage is just more pictures, my college degree, so I could brag about it, I guess. More plants. This little teapot I got from Aime, and it's so cute. This little storage area came with the apartment, but it's super messy. Now my kitchen, which a lot of this did come with the apartment, other than the food, of course. And I did not decorate the kitchen that much. It's just mostly for utility. Here we have the garbage, recycling, and like pots and pans and stuff, and then on the other side you have my fridge, which is so tiny. I wish I had an actual fridge, or at least a half-size fridge, because that one is tiny. Now just an overview, and then we have my window area, which I lived on the first floor, so I got a nice view of the garden and a wall. We weren't even allowed to be up there. That was it for the tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now I'm just doing a quick overview of the whole apartment, but we're done. We're back. So basically my camera died and I had to set everything back up, and I forgot to do my microphone, so this is now the third time that I'm filming this, but it's fine. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of seeing my apartment and how I decorated it, because I'm really proud of how it turned out. But now I'm going to give you guys some quick tips for finding housing. So first, make sure you find a place before getting to Paris so that you have some time, give yourself some time to find housing. I recommend at least 2 weeks, but a month I'd say is like the ideal. That's what I gave myself, and I literally found an apartment like 2 days before I moved in, or 2 days before I was supposed to move out. So give yourself a month, I'd say, to find housing in Paris. Next, places that you can look at. These are just like my favorite places that I looked at, and there's others basically everywhere in Paris. So first, of course, is Solager, which is my favorite because I love the layout. You can filter it by like distance, you can filter it by commute, by like specific areas of Paris, square footage. Like you can filter it by so many different things, like whether or not I had a balcony, because I really wanted an apartment with a balcony. Ended up not finding one that I could afford. So yeah, I really like Solager. It's a really nice app slash website. The next one is PAP, which is basically the same thing. I'm pretty sure they're owned by the same company because they're so similar, but this one is just a little bit clunkier and older looking. But this is where I ended up finding my apartment, so I guess I shouldn't laugh at it too much. Next one is thematc, which I feel like is mostly geared towards, I wanted to say children, but no, students, which is kind of the same thing because I was a little child in college. But thematc, I think I'd say has more affordable places. I found a really nice apartment in like 2 minutes from Jardin de Luxembourg, like walking, but I ended up not getting it because it was basically a dorm. So yeah, I think thematc is definitely geared more to students, hence the name, but there are some things on there that aren't just for students. Also, life hack, I told all the people that I found, not just for thematc, but even for the apartment I ended up finding, I told her that I was gonna be a student, and I think they give you more grace for like why you're not making a lot of money. If you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go to school, because you're young anyways, so definitely tell everyone you're a student or that you're gonna be a student, especially if you're taking French classes, because then you're technically a student. But yeah, that being said, thematc has really affordable housing, but a lot of it is dorms, so be wary of that. You might not get an actual kitchen or bathroom. So next is Flatlooker, which is, I really like this website because the apartments on here were so cute, but a lot of them were outside of my budget. And also, this is one of the ones where everything is online, so I could rent an apartment and on Flatlooker from where I'm living right now, and it would be like, it's all reputable, so it's not like the other websites where you literally have to go there and like see the apartment before you pay them, because otherwise it could be a scam. But it's like an online apartment looking website. So if you want to find an apartment before you get to Paris, look on Flatlooker. They are a little bit more expensive because of that. They do a lot of like renovations on the places. So yeah, that's one option if you have a little bit more money and you want to find an apartment before you get to Paris. The last but not least, actually I'd say last and least, because I don't really recommend it, but it is a place where you can find an apartment. I did go on a couple of tours off of Le Bon Coin, but it's the least reputable because anyone can post on there, and there was definitely some clear scams that I found on there. Be wary, and if you have any weird vibes off of someone, especially on the Bon Coin, don't go through with it. I'd say it's kind of like a Craigslist or a Facebook Marketplace, like where people post ads on different things that they're selling, and apartments are one of the things that people can post about. So yeah, Le Bon Coin is an option. It just, I wouldn't be my first choice. So next, do not give anyone money until you see the place. I repeat, do not give anyone money until you see the place. Every year, so the program that I did to get to Paris is called Tapif, and they always like post like on Facebook and WhatsApp and stuff, people post like their stories and stuff. Somehow there's always someone who got scammed, even though everyone reminds everyone not to give anyone money before you get there. But I think last year a Canadian girl like paid someone money for an apartment, and then she got there and the keys didn't work for the apartment. It was someone else's apartment. So yeah, be very careful. Do not give anyone money until you see the apartment and you can sign a contract or something. So yeah, that's like the number one tip to get out of scams, because if you have to meet them physically in person and they have to show you the apartment, at that point, like, how are they gonna scam you? Because they have to show you an apartment. So like, are they gonna show you their apartment? And then, you know, like, it's hard to scam you if you meet, like, it's hard to scam someone in person at the actual apartment viewing, if that makes sense. So yeah, don't give anyone money until you see the apartment. Also, don't do any deposits. Some girl on Facebook, some woman tried to scam me by saying like, oh, because this was before I had moved to Paris. It was like 2 weeks before, and I was like, hey, I'm not gonna be in Paris until this time. Can you just like hold the apartment for me, basically? And she was like, no, I'll probably find someone else, but if you give me the deposit, then I'll hold the apartment. And I was like, no thank you. But like literally like a week later, all the messages were deleted and she was not on Facebook anymore. But yeah, don't give anyone money. Next, there's certain things you can compromise on, certain things you can't. I'd say the 3 things that are non-negotiable are price, neighborhood, and commute. You can't really, once you commit on a price and you realize you can't afford it, really hard to go back on that. Like, please don't get a place that you can't afford. Next, neighborhood. You can change the inside of your apartment pretty easily, I'd say, for the most part, but you can't change the area. If you find a place that is dangerous or like you don't feel safe in your neighborhood, you can't change that. Certain things you can't negotiate: price, neighborhood, and then the last one is commute. I personally don't really care that much about long commutes. My commute in Paris was 55 minutes and I did not mind because I only work 3 days a week. But my mom, on the other hand, literally commutes like 15 minutes and she complains about it. So if you are the type of person to want to live really close to like school or work, make sure you find a place close to school or work, because it's gonna get really old really quickly. Next and finally, paperwork. So this is something I can elaborate more on a specific housing video, but there's certain things that you need to make sure you have all in hand before, as soon as possible, because I did not get my visa. So basically, it's also complicated, but to get housing in Paris, you need to have a guarantor, which is basically someone who signs off saying, hey, this person's gonna pay rent, but it has to be a French citizen making like full-time income. So as someone who had just moved to Paris, I did not know anyone. I did not have someone who could do that for me. But you're in luck if you're not French, because you can get basically the government to do it for you, or a website. So the 2 that you can use is Visal, which is the French government, or Guernsey, which is a specific website, but that one is not free. Visal is free, which is what I used. But it took me 3 applications for Visal to actually get my paperwork, and by then I had found an apartment, and then he found someone else because I didn't have my Visal ready. So make sure you have all this in hand before you start looking, because without all this paperwork ready, you're going to hit a lot of roadblocks. So be careful. The next other couple of things that I think are important to have all together, like get yourself a folder and put all this stuff in it, because you're gonna need. Also, get a flash drive and put all of your important documents and stuff on it as well, so that it makes it easier for you to find it when you need to like submit things. So yeah, I recommend doing that. I can put on this list on the screen the types of things that I had in my, or I still have in my kind of important documents folder / important documents, like on my computer. Like I have a digital version and then a physical version, which is, you can't see it here, but it's a pull. I can show you. So I have this folder here. This is basically my important documents folder. So I have in here everything that I could possibly need for any government related purpose, and I use this in France. I actually got this folder. I first started doing it when I moved to France because I heard it's really important to have a folder like this. But I think even if you live in the US, it's important to have it for different government related purposes. But some things that you should have in your folder, both digitally, so like not screenshots, but like photocopies, and then also physically, is stuff like your visa or your guarantor paperwork stuff, your visa and passport, your work contract, finances, so like bank statements, or I don't think that's super important, I never had to use that, but proof of income. So for me, for my job, I had like a sheet that they emailed us that basically was like, hey, this is how much they get paid, because if you just moving to France for a job, you have not gotten like a pay stub yet, but past pay stubs are also important for proof of past income, basically, so you can also show that. So I also had that in my digital one because I had forgotten to print that out before moving to France, but that is another important thing to have, like proof of income. There's a couple other things that I'm probably forgetting. I'm gonna have it on the screen, but basically make sure you have this document or all of these documents together before you start looking, because without it you're gonna just struggle a lot like I did. So that was it. Those are my tips for finding housing in Paris. Good luck to all of you guys looking for housing, because it is a struggle out here. I don't know how I did it. Like I literally cried like at least three times. Eventually you shall find a place. So that was it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for all my patrons for helping me make amazing videos. The link to my Patreon will be linked down below, where I post extra content, behind the scenes, stuff like that. I also have all my social media linked down below. So that was it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.